Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of our Boundary Riders podcast. Today we will be we have two double it's a double header today. It's a double header Saturday today. So in this particular podcast we'll be talking about the second match because the first match is anyways it's a special one, so we need more people on the podcast. But we'll talk about the
This will
second
be a,
match, which
this will
is
be a quick live. This will be a quick live. We want to cover the basics, and also Ordendu missed out on the yesterday's review, so we'll just touch base on that. Yeah.
sure. Yes, yes. So we'll just do a quick review of yesterday, but that we'll save it for the last. But first we'll talk about the second match of today, the Kings versus the Royals. So two very contrasting teams. One sitting at the top of the table, and second relinquishing at the bottom. Royals have been, I mean, in the last 3 4 years, Royals have been quite consistent in the IPL. They have either made it to the top two, or at least they have made it to the top four in the eliminators or the qualifiers, right? Punjab, on the other hand, have not have always been at the bottom, but this year's Punjab looks a bit different. It is slightly reminding me of the Punjab of 2014, but Rajasthan was missing one particular thing in the last three matches, and that was their captain Sanju Samson. But now he's back, so I hope that we have a very great contest today, a very tightly fought contest, and maybe the fortunes might change. So let's start. I mean, let's start with the battles of the Rajwadas and the Rajas. So Rigjoy, first thoughts: Punjab versus RR today.
Yeah, I would like summarize couple of things. Okay, on firstly is that Punjab is like a blank slate. Like this year, they have started with a blank slate, and they have done tremendously well. They had a great leader in Shreyas Iyer, who is not only contributing to his excellent street smart captaincy, but also through his excellent batting. He has improved his T20 batting to a great extent. Not only he does show tremendous timing, but he also shows equal amount of aggression and blast in his batting. So it is great to see. It's a huge loss for KKR that despite creating a champion squad, they had to lose him because of the mega auction. But it's Punjab's last luck. Punjab also, as you have mentioned, historically had great teams, but they couldn't capitalize. I think mostly because of their management and their leadership. But this time, the leadership and management has taken a very educated call of creating a team from the scratch and giving the decision making ability and power to the cricketing think tank rather than the management. And that's why we are seeing the result as of now. We do not know how it will progress, but I would say Shreyas Iyer, the way he has handled the team, the way he has handled his resources, and the way he has himself batted, it's only Punjab's game to lose. Coming to Rajasthan, I would say that Sanju Samson is coming from that mentality where he believes one over is 5% of one game. He has categorically said that. So he is one of those players who will go. Uh, we will go and try to blast every ball from the beginning. And this IPL, we have seen that the conditions have seemed to change. The bowler's attitude towards the initial power play overs have changed. So the strongest point of Rajasthan has now turned out to be the weakest because they are now desperately trying to score on the top, and they have failed. KKR has learned that lesson hard way, and now they are adapting. Yesterday we saw LSG adapting to that too. Markram, we can say that I will come to Markram's innings yesterday, even though it was quite a slower innings compared to a T20 module, but still I would say his role was impeccable in gelling up and gluing the whole inning. So the T20 format and the way the game is going forward has changed this season a lot, and the question is whether the RR team will be able to adjust and accommodate themselves and their aggressive batting style with this ever-changing format. Today's match will be first played in Chandigarh, first time in Chandigarh for the first time in IPL. It's in Mullanpur, right? Not the Mohali Stadium. I'm not sure which
Correct.
stadium. So we do not know how the pitch will offer. If it is a slow, sticky wicket like the other ones, which every captains are now asking for, Then it will be a challenge for Rajasthan, similar to Hyderabad, I would say, that how they manage their upper order so that they can, build a stable partnership and start to accelerate at the end of the innings rather than the first. So, given their weaknesses and strength, I believe PBKS has a upper hand today in this match. It's Punjab's match to lose today. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, yes, rightly pointed. So let's talk about the individual teams first. I think you covered most of the things in the beginning itself, but let's talk about the strengths and the weaknesses of both the teams, right? So Punjab, I think, yes, very rightly pointed out. They have a very good leadership this time. Ricky Ponting and Shreyas Iyer, both thinking captains, thinking players. Ricky Ponting, one of the greatest captains that the cricketing world ever saw, and we have Shreyas Iyer. I mean, who has shown that how amazing a leader he is. The way he did it for KKR, right? So it was not just the coach Gambhir, but also the captain Iyer, which was a great factor, which was a huge factor in the KKR's victory last year. So absolutely a great leadership, and he's leading from the front. It's not that the last time in KKR, I think it was Nareen, Russell, they were performing, and I think Iyer was contributing here and there, but this time he's leading from the front. So that's a very great sign for Punjab, I think, and I think and we talked about it in the after the auction as well, right? I mean, we mentioned that Punjab is having a good balance this time. I mean, it's having a good team, right? They have picked the right players here. So be it bowling or batting. Uh, One thing they were lacking in the first two games was, I think, not the first two games, and the first game was Prab Simran did not fire, but that has gone now. I mean, Prabsimran played very well in the last match, so that is a positive, and I still believe that this will be the season for Prabsimran. I mean, if he doesn't shine this time, and I think Punjab will be dropping him for the next time. But I think Prabsimran will have a 400 plus score this time in this IPL, at least 400 plus score, if not 500. And they also have a good batsman. I mean, Priyan Charia, he played a very good innings in the last match, in the last match, I guess. So a very good, a decent Indian opening combination, followed by Shreyas Iyer at number three and Nehal Vadheda. Nehal Vadheda, I think Mumbai had utilized him well, but I think he did not get too many chances in the previous years. So
Yes.
this time I think they promoted him at number four, and he went there and played a very very good innings there. Right. The most important thing here is that your player who is an X factor in the team, Marcus Stoinis, he has not been utilized that much. If you see in that entire matches that Punjab has played till now, neither in the bowling nor in the batting, and he's a game changer, right? So Maxwell and Stoinis, they have not been utilized too much. And Maxwell, I think he had a duck in the first match, but mostly they have been underutilized when it comes to the batting. So that itself just, and even Shashank was a game changer for them in the last IPL. So these three players, they have not been utilized that much, and that tells about the batting depth that Punjab has. Coming to the bowling also, I think Arshdeep, Chahal, some, I mean, a good bowling lineup, a decent bowling lineup. It is their
You are
game to
you
lose.
are you are you are getting cut off in the middle. Can you repeat again?
Yeah,
Amardeep and Chahal. Yeah.
game to lose. Yeah, yeah, it is their game to lose. I think a brilliant team, and it is their game to lose. Coming to Rajasthan, Rajasthan have some problems. So first, I'll talk about the positives. What Rajasthan has from the last match. The positives from the last match is, I think for me, the biggest positive is Vanindu Hasaranga. The way he bowled, I think that's a great positive because Rajasthan, if you remember when UG Chahal was there, I think UG Chahal was a very key performer in lifting them in the top two every time, right? So the spinners have to click. Thikshana is still a concern for me. I mean, he's not bowling bad. But he's not able to take wickets. But Vanindu Hasaranga, he bowled really well, and that's a big positive for Rajasthan. Another positive would be the coming back of Sanju Samson as the captain, right? So as a captain, he performs as a player as well. That's the thing. So that is another big positive. Talking about the problems here, I would say there are two, three problems. One particular problem is the consistent failure of Yashasvi Jaiswal. Yashasvi Jaiswal, after having a good season, I think it was last year, I guess, he had a very good season. And after that, even the last year, I think he did not have a very good season. I mean, he had a decent season, not a very good season, right? And he's now out of the T20 setup as well in the Indian team, right? So that to me is a big problem. Yashasvi Jaiswal has to fire, otherwise it will be a problem for Rajasthan in the entire tournament. And another big problem is that, I mean, I still cannot understand that why Shimran Hetmyer is batting at number 7. He Hasaranga is coming at 6 and Hetmyer is coming at 7. That's a problem. And so I think a player like Hetmyer, he has the same, if not the same impact, at least somewhat closer impact than what Nicholas Puran has for LSG, right? So I think Hetmyer should be promoted. Uh, Jofra Archer, he looked good in the last match, but it was a Chennai pitch. We should not forget. Let's see how he performs in pitches where there is a lot of runs to offer, right? Uh, so Riksha, I mean, what do you think? I mean, Yashasvi Jaiswal. I mean, let's talk about Yashasvi Jaiswal. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
I do
rounded
have
up with a lot of
I
controversy.
do have a lot of thoughts on him. He has a lot going on. If you have followed his news regarding he want to move away
Correct.
from Mumbai to Goa, I do not know whether you can have such sort of or it did happen some time ago, and we are getting the news right now. It's a fascinating thing. No generally Mumbai players who play for Goa are the Mumbai rejects, like Arjun Tendulkar and other people,
Mhm.
or people who do not have the acumen to join the Mumbai Ranji team, which is one of the most finest Ranji team in Indian domestic circuit, and one of the most team filled with most legacy, I would say. So him not, I mean, even being just a player for Mumbai is a matter of prestige and legacy, but there's something is going on with him. That's why he chose to leave the side. That is on the domestic front. On the international front, as you have rightly pointed out, he has done nothing wrong. His career trajectory is going similar to Ishan Kishan. I think there is some formula or some thought process which goes in the Indian main team think tank, where they have performing players who plays excellently for the team and then suddenly gets disappeared. So Jaiswal is going to that testing phase right now, and that can impact him mentally. Like he can think that he's not good enough to get into the squad. Maybe it can boil down to in that way, and that can reflect on his game. This is we are seeing right now. My observation was that he was trying too hard. Jaiswal is a player who relies on timing and his own intuition to score rather than going hard on the bowlers. So, if RR management has strategized his batting to go after the bowler, they have to change the strategy and ask Jaiswal to believe in his ability. And if needed, they can take a slow start and then accelerate later on. So, if Jaiswal can opt such kind of strategy in his batting. Again, I do not know how the Mullanpur pitch will behave or whether they will bat or bowl first, but it's more of a mental toughness game for Jaiswal. Jaiswal has to be mentally make himself available at that moment so that he can apply his 100% ability and try to get away from this current mess he is in. This is my thought on Jaiswal.
Hmm. Agreed. I mean, and Jaiswal has to perform, as I mentioned, right, for RR. Otherwise, that will be a big problem. Yes. So let's talk about the key battles. Let's talk about the
Uh,
key
yeah,
yeah,
okay. Now it's okay.
yeah,
I think you got
yes.
engaged in the
Huh.
match. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the key battles that we have at hand today. So since we were talking about Jaiswal, right? So Jaiswal, I mean, the recent times he has been dismissed to left-handed bowlers, right? Left-handed seamers. So one interesting battle for me would be Jaiswal versus Arshdeep Singh.
Mhm.
Who do you think would be having the edge today, Rickjay?
Given the recent form, I think Arshdeep will have the upper hand today. And Arshdeep being a very thinking ball, he basically now the number one T20 bowler after Bumrah. So now Bumrah is injured, so technically he is the number one. So and Jaiswal is not in his best form for last couple of months. So even though we know he is talented, but today I think Arshdeep will have the better hand because he'll be able to exploit on his weaknesses, especially the slower ones and all. Because Jaiswal is a player who cannot like brute force his way to scoring runs. He is a player who relies on timing and shot selections, and he is very strong on his cover areas. So if they try to block them, it's whether Jaiswal has the patience to hold through that and get little accustomed, and then carry on. That will be a thing to watch out. But having said that, given the current situation, I think Deep may take his wicket.
Hmm, right. I mean, the
I,
past
I,
history says
I
that.
have a counter question. Like we were discussing about Jaiswal and Rajasthan batting order. I would also want your opinion on Sanju Samson, whatever he has done till now as a super impact sub, and Rian Parag. So these two are also critical batters for Rajasthan, and they are not firing. So what do you think about their prospect today?
Yeah, I think Riyan Parag had a dream season. Let's talk about Riyan Parag first. So he had a dream season last year. Okay, then after that he got the India call up, and then I think he did not perform for India well, and then he got dropped. Right. Uh, Too early to say, but I don't think Riyan Parag would be having the season like he had previously. And that I can assure. He played a decent innings in the last match. I don't see any particular weakness. It's just that I believe in the first two matches, the captaincy pressure hurt him a lot. I think. I think
Yeah.
he took a lot of responsibility on him, a lot of pressure on himself. He was not playing freely. The Riyan Parag that we know, the player that he was in the last season, I think he did not play that freely in the first two matches. Now that the captaincy is back to Samson, I think he should be able to express himself more. That's what I would see. Sanju Samson, Sanju. So as I mentioned initially as well, right? Sanju Samson as a batter and Sanju Samson as a captain batter are two different people. So I feel that Sanju Samson will be firing once he's back as the captain. I think Rajasthan will slowly move to the track as well once Sanju Samson is back. They just have to fix a few things in their combination. I think Hetmeyer has to come at number six. Maybe they have to have some sort of a batting depth as well, because if Hasananga is your number seven, then I don't think that batting depth is there for you. So maybe they have to add an extra batter here and there. Maybe that's uh, that's what I would feel. Uh, Otherwise, Sanju Samson will be doing good. Only one thing, and I think that is something that I wanted to ask you as well. Sanju Samson has been dismissed to the short deliveries a lot. If you see, that's that England series, I think, right, where
Yeah.
he was consistently getting out on those short deliveries, and
Mm.
that all to the deep square leg, right?
Mm.
So, do you think that will be a plan for him today?
Yeah. Yeah. If the pitch is sticky and slow, as last couple of days we have seen, they will try. They will try like slower bouncers on him so that he miss time and misjudges the ball. He may get also caught out in the the square instead of deep square leg in the square leg, or in the wicket keeper might take a catch if it goes directly up. This kind of thing they're gonna try. That's why I have a follow up question on Sanju Samson. Do you think Sanju needs to alter his approach now rather than like going after the bowler? Should he like assess the condition and then start to hit after 2-3 overs? Do you think
See,
he's changing his
I
game?
I would
Because
I would not suggest that approach. I would still feel that he should play naturally the way he plays. Only thing is that yes, he has to at some places he has to put a restriction on certain shots that gets him dismissed. See, Sanju Samson is an extremely talented player, and this we
correct.
have maintained throughout, right? If
Yeah.
Sanju Samson gets out, he gets out on his self. I mean, if
Yeah.
he is in a destructive form, nobody can get him out. That's what it is. He's kind of a Rohit Sharma kind of a player for me. I mean Rohit Sharma of the prime, right?
Yeah.
So he's that kind of a player. I don't think he should change his game, but yes, certain shots, like for the example, the way he got continuously. I mean, he got dismissed in that England series, if I'm not wrong, right? On that short deliveries and that same position, right? So if he curbs that particular shot, I think he will do well. Otherwise, he should not change. He should not tweak much his game.
He should rather focus on his shot selection rather than his
Correct.
no gaming approach. Yeah, batting approach. Yeah. Okay,
Yes.
that makes
Let's talk
sense.
about the key battles for the other side as well. So Stoinis and Maxwell, two players not utilized much in this tournament, but they have a history with Sandeep Sharma. And Sandeep
Yeah.
Sharma has always had got the edge over these two players, no matter which franchise these two players have gone. So I think Punjab are anyways doing well, but if we are going to, if let's say they lose a certain some Prab Simran, Shreyas, and all those things, then I think Maxwell and Stoinis both will come into play. So who do you think will have the edge in this particular battle with Sandeep Sharma?
I believe in Sandeep Sharma may get both of them. He has a deadly slower ball. His varieties are very good. He has a knuckle ball. I believe still from the batting perspective, Stoinis is someone who can rectify his game. But Maxwell, I think he literally just his mental participation in IPL is very on a surface level. Like the when how Maxwell can play, right? When he dons the Aussie jersey, he's a different player. And literally, I think he's at a point where the owners will start to say Maxwell is a scam. Okay, when he comes to play IPL. So Maxwell and even we saw for Stark too that these two players who have who are like literally like legends and world beaters, but when they come for IPL, they don't have that much of intent. I would say that to perform well. I think they in their mind they're like, okay, we are legends. What else we have to prove? So, but Stoinis is not like that. Stoinis is someone who puts effort, and he's younger than probably younger than Maxwell. So I think that will you know uh, that will be a factor over here. But I would take a little bit of segue. I would rather say that this time the bulk of Punjab batting is is done by Shreyas. Shreyas is their highest scorer, and Shreyas uh, is contributing batting wise more than he did for Night Riders. So that will be a huge factor. And what he does is he takes that pressure off from the middle order. So even in a situation where if Stoinis and Maxwell comes after him, it will be a situation where Shreyas has already laid the groundwork for them, so they
Hmm.
can go because Maxwell has. If you remember last season too, he were put in a situation where he had to build innings and he had to rather than playing a role of a finisher, he had to actually build innings and situations like that, and he faltered there. But this time, if he gets much more easier situation where he just has to go as a finisher, then he might excel, and we can again see the best of him in this season. But I don't think Shreyas will allow that. He will remain not out if he is in the sublime form he is in.
Yeah, I think Maxwell had a dream season in 2014, and that was one of the key contributors why Punjab reached the finals. Eventually,
Yes.
they lost to KKR.
Yes.
I do not expect a similar season for him, but overall as a Punjab, I had thought of it in the auction as well after the auction that this
Mm.
Punjab looks like that Punjab. So let's see, and with the leadership of Ricky Ponting and Shreyas Iyer, they might go all the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
One more point, just for this key battle, the Punjab and the Rajasthan battles. So we
Mm.
saw a Badla moment in the RCB versus GT, right?
Yeah.
Siraj is going all emotional while bowling to Virat Kohli. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there were some memes where the Koila meme, right? Amrish Puri and Shahrukh Khan meme that came up,
Mhm.
and then so he going all. emotional in that match. But then he took his badla as well, that he belongs here. A
Yeah.
similar moment for Yuzvendra Chahal as well,
Yes.
Rajasthan, Yuzvendra Chahal.
Yes. But he's going through a different battle personally, right? So I don't think that's a higher priority. I mean, Chahal was more butthurt when he was released from RCB,
Correct.
right? He was very vocal on that ground, just like Shubman was very vocal when he was released from KKR. There are some dream team I can understand they wanted to play, but Chahal, I don't think, because he went through such a turmoil in his personal life, I don't think he has that in his mind right now. He'd be focusing to get back in his game, and that too under Shreyas's captaincy. Oh, what an irony! So, but yeah, I think I mean players are supportive. I think Hardik gave an interview where he was actually talking about Chahal and how Chahal is able to turn around from the personal condition. I think he has a new girlfriend right now, Chahal,
Yes.
and who has been
That's how
mentally
you
supported.
move on.
Yeah,
That's how you move on.
you can't remain single for a long time. Chahal is the most, I would say, the intelligent cricketer in terms of all the intelligent in the sense like having the
He's
most
a grandmaster. He's a
yeah,
grandmaster. He's a chess grandmaster.
yeah, he has the
So we
most
expect
IQ.
it from.
Yeah, yeah. So in that sense, Chahal. But having said that, I just want to have just a little bit of a different discussion. Chahal may not get a chance in India team anymore because Indian team has gone so far ahead in terms of their spin department that even Chahal performs well in IPL. Chahal does not contribute at all through his batting. You have seen Kuldeep
Correct.
and other spinners at least improve their batting and improve their fielding. These two sectors, Chahal doesn't perform at all, and which is a very crucial thing for the international opportunity. So that can be a factor. So even though Chahal is an amazing, contributor in the spin department, but the you should as an IPL player, just like we have seen for Ravi Bishnoi too. Yesterday, Ravi Bishnoi missed a catch on the boundary line, and maybe if some other players were there, that could have been a half or a more than a half chance. So we have seen this kind of players who contribute well to their bowling, but that is not enough anymore.
Correct.
I believe.
Agreed. I mean, that's how T20 cricket is shaping up. We need 11 batters, 6, 7 bowlers, and all
Yeah.
amazing fielders. I mean, that's how it is. It's
That's
becoming
an
more
off
and more,
topic.
more and more competitive.
Okay. Can we quickly move on to
Yes.
yesterday's
Yes.
can this
Before that, just a quick prediction for today's match. Punjab versus Arab.
Punjab, hands down Punjab.
I also feel that it will be Punjab's game, and it's at their home as well. Yeah, let's move to the match that happened yesterday. Lucknow Super Giants versus Mumbai Indians. Very interesting selections, I would say. Some controversial decisions as well in that entire match, and you expect that from Mumbai, right? Every time, and also Lucknow Super Giants, right? Sanjeev Goenka being there, so you expect those moments in the game. Uh, Coming to the point first, so the very first important point, right? Was Rohit Sharma dropped or was he injured?
So I would like to quote a meme. If you remember the very famous meme that Rohit Sharma himself applied on many of the players when he used to not pick them for the squad. It's like तू जानता नहीं है but तू injured है.
Correct.
And the same game is now played on him. I believe Rohit Sharma. It is my personal belief. I believe he was dropped. I don't think. I mean, he was not looking injured. I mean, what was the injury? What do you know? What was the injury for which he was dropped?
I
What
think
was
he
the
was hit during the practice session, but
okay?
I'm not sure. He was just practicing before the match.
Okay, it
I
is
think a few hours back.
similar to the movie which Rohit Sharma did,
Correct. Right. Right.
where he got
And I
hit.
think I think we talked about it as well. I mean, in one of the I think in the last review that we had, I
Mhm.
had put up a question there, right? That the form that Rohit Sharma is in, do you think Mumbai would be brave enough to drop him? I think that's
Mhm.
what happened in the next match. So
Yes.
very controversial decision, but I think will that be the way going forward? If let's say it's just one match for Will Jackson and Ryan Rickelton as an opening pair, they have not fired. I mean, they did not fire yesterday. But if let's say they have a consistent game, maybe one or two matches, and
Mm.
if at all this was not an injury and it was actually a drop, right? So do you think him coming back again if the pair of Jackson Rickelton they fire?
I think it's about like crossing the line, right? Once you have crossed the line, once you have seen how it looks on the other side, they might be brave enough. They have taken a lot of brave decision, Mumbai, right? And they have stuck with it. One of them being changing of the captaincy, and they stuck with it. Second one will be dropping Rohit Sharma. Now they have, if they believe, but Jackson Nicholson were not looking shaky.
Hmm.
Like if you see Rohit Sharma when he comes nowadays, because of the way he has been discouraged by the Mumbai Indians team. I mean, he is not given the same kind of respect and prestige as the national squad. So he might feel that pinch, right? And that pinch may boil down to how Rohit Sharma performs on the field. So it impacts as a senior player. If you're not given that due respect, it might happen that it may reflect back on the field, and that is what is happening over here. So if that's the case, then I don't see that they are going to tell that Rohit Sharma is injured at least for the next match. So they are going to test this out, and that's how they are going to uh, check out and see from the long term perspective whether they can actually drop him, and they can get rid of him next season. They're on that way, I
Hmm.
would say. They are slowly. If they don't win this season, they are going to make a lot of changes.
Right.
At least
Right.
if they don't make it to the qualifier, they're definitely going to make changes. I would say they are going to release the whole Indian lineup like Surya, Bumrah, uh, Tilak Verma. They are going to remove them, and they are going to create a fresh start with Hardik. But
Maybe
if they at least make it to the qualifier and the finals, then they might have a second thought of continuing with Rohit as a
maybe not
player.
maybe not Bumrah and Surya, but yes. Now that you talked about Tilak Verma, right? So before quoting Tilak Verma, right, I just want to quote a meme again, right?
Mm.
कि पैसा है तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. That's
Yeah.
how it has been for Mumbai throughout
Mm.
in all the IPLs, right? Very controversial decision. Retired out, very much against the what should I say, the gentlemanship of the game, right? So, do you think that sort of a thing should have ever happen? It should ever
No, no.
happen in an IPL game or any game,
No, it should not
right?
happen. It's again bowler's nightmare, right? The bowler has been preparing to dismiss a particular batter, and then the batter takes this kind of a strategy. Imagine if there was a big hitter uh, just after him. Imagine what would have been the condition. There are situations we have seen that because nowadays you have seen that if a player gets out, even he crosses the line, the new batsman will only come to his end. This
Correct.
has been a huge advantage for the bowler who can keep the informed batsman in the non-striking end and at least keep the newer batsman, and so they can strategize in that way. And suddenly you take that advantage away from this kind of situation. This is a very absurd thing. I believe this shouldn't be allowed, or if this kind of things are allowed, then it should lead to suspension or fine from the captains or the Mumbai management, because this will set a precedent, right? This will set a precedent, and future teams might opt to, they will be like, KKR can do it, right? KKR will be like, okay, Rinku will, someone like Angrish and Rahane will play up to the 17th over, then both will get retired out, and then Rinku and Russell will come. Okay, or Rinku and Ramandeep will come.
Mm,
What is this thing?
correct.
Huh? This is really absurd. So it's only think, only Mumbai Indians can think of such kind of. I mean, they want to like push the limits, like where is the limits of the games are, And but this was mostly a brain fade moment because they thought that the Santner was a better hitter than Tilak, right? The
Mm,
strategy didn't work out, and Hardik was in the strike most of the time. So
correct.
I don't know. Huh? I do not know. Even I think most of the team itself was against the. I do not know whether it was a decision from Jayawardene or from Hardik, but it was a very and from the players' confidence perspective, how discouraging is that? No matter
Correct.
what kind of, if you see those behind the scenes video from the locker room where the players clap on the situation where the coach or the mentors give speeches and pep talks, and they talk about certain moments from the game and certain performance from the game. Then what about that? You are creating situation where you cannot have anything to tell positive about the player anymore. This is such a
Absolutely.
disgraceful thing, not only for the game but also to the confidence of that player.
Absolutely. Agreed.
And Tilak Verma is an India international. He's not some guy from,
Yeah, and
and
he's an Indian international who has had
he
an
was,
impeccable
it was
form.
yeah. It was a difficult pitch. Even though he was not in form, it was still a difficult pitch. If he would have able to score, then why didn't Hardik able to hit the sixes in the last over? He
Correct.
couldn't hit right, even though he was there in the ground for some time. He still couldn't hit. So
Absolutely.
these kind of thing, if it can, if someone else was the captain, I believe they wouldn't have accepted that. This is the thing.
Hmm.
This is where captaincy matters, and this is why I told you in the beginning of the season that Hardy's ego is too much for the others to handle.
I believe again the memories of the last year's IPL are haunting back Mumbai. I just hope that they get the Bumrah boost and they are back to the winning ways again. Let's move to the other team, Lucknow Super Giants. Just a few points on that. So I think Somadeep is also joining. Hey Somadeep, we are covering the LSG and the MI match. We already covered the preview for the Kings versus the Royals. So we were just talking about the LSG part of it. So since you joined, I'll
We
just
were.
take a
I was
thought from
actually
you first.
watching you guys live this far. I just wanted to raise one point about yesterday's match. The in the fourth ball of the last over, Hardik actually could have taken the single, and that could have kept them in the match. Right? It was 14 runs required of the last three balls. If he would have taken a single, you never know. Santner was on the other end. He was a left-hander. He could have hit two sixes. The match would have been tied. Like still, the possibility would have been there. He denied the single there. So
He
I'm
tried
just
to
seeing
do a
some of
Dhoni.
the
Don't you think he
right.
tried to do a Dhoni?
No, no, but still, like doing a Dhoni is a different thing. But still, like you have to think of the calculation that keeps you in the match, right? If you are taking a single or a double in
Absolutely.
that ball, you are still in the match, and when you deny the single, you are totally out of the match. So, like that was a miscalculation, I suppose. But I am just thinking of the audacity there, where like players kind of tend to think themselves as greater than the game. So that is something which should be called out, I believe. Right? It's not something that is good for the game overall. Good. They lost two
Absolutely.
points. And as we always say, IPL is a entertainment show rather than a cricket show. But again, I did not like that kind of a play where it actually calculatively takes the team out of the equation.
No, absolutely agreed with you. I mean, that's what me and Rigjay were also discussing. There were some very controversial things that happened, right? Dropping of Rohit Sharma, Tilak Verma getting retired out, then Hardik. You pointed out the point that Hardik not denying a single, right? So that's what it is. I mean, the memories of the last year's IPL is haunting back Mumbai again. Not sure if they get the Bumrah boost, if that recovers them in some way and they're back to winning ways. So yeah, that's and obviously some things are disgraceful for the game. I mean, it are disgraceful for the game because that's not allowed. Certain things are not allowed. You need to play the game with some sort of gentlemanship, some sort of fair practices, right? So that is something that we are not seeing. Anyways, moving to the Lucknow part, I'll start off with a very interesting thing. Lucknow are winning, so they have won two out of their three matches, I guess, right? That's what they have done, right? Uh, Rishabh Pant not firing. So, do you think that if Lucknow stop winning, they start losing matches? Do you think that those tough conversations between Rishabh Pant and Sanjeev Goenka would start to happen? Somodip, from your end, what do you think?
See, again, a video came out of Sanjeev Goenka where he is smiling and giving a kind of coach kind of inspirational talk to the players. So, like, it's a very very interesting thing. I don't see any other team, any other franchisee owner who is so involved into the game that every post match they kind of have a vehement discussion with the players. So, this it's very kind of not too eye soothing to see match after match. Um, uh, so Pant, yesterday LSG won, so everything well. Soon there like they will again lose some matches, and then again some other kind of expressions we'll find out on the camera. And like Rickja was pointing out the other day, it shows up, right? We can understand from the body language. It doesn't look that pleasant when they lose a match, right? But still, their PR agency is doing well in order to rectify his image, the image since the last year. So yeah, nothing much to read from it, but just that it's weird. It's not pleasant, or it's not as the other teams owners would behave.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, we don't. I mean, and we were discussing about a very interesting point which Richa brought up, that why Punjab is looking better this time, because it's the cricketing brains who are actually investing more time and taking the decisions.
I think Ardhendu got disconnected. Ardhendu, are you able to hear us? Yeah, so let me complete him. Okay, what I said was that this time Punjab proactively took a decision of taking a step back and creating a good think tank in Ricky Ponting, and creating a good team with a good leader who has the ability to read the situation of the match and take decision accordingly. So they have left completely the match to them rather than them involving and putting their own opinion. So that's why the results are showing. It's too early, but the results are showing. And the reverse thing happens in LHG. And I would follow up with what Shomadip has mentioned, is that so they are now sending Goenka every match after the to the pitch after every match, just to compensate for the damage to his image that has happened like last year. So that is the only reason I believe they are being sent. Because if he stops going now, then it will be now it's too late. Now they are into this thing. Now they cannot get back. No, they have to do something. So yesterday I was seeing that there were two guys along with Goenka, and they were actually introducing that person to Rishabh Pant, and they're like, meet this person. There was nothing, specific to talk about. So you don't talk about, right? We have never seen Venki Mysore or anyone coming to field. We have seen them giving their speeches in the locker room, in the videos, we exclusive footage videos we see. So they could have done in that way, but now they are compensating for the the PR image loss by doing stuff which has no ending to it. That's the problem.
He also
Correct.
came in the Beer Biceps podcast just to
Yes.
rectify his image. But just
Yeah.
one aspect which I would say in his favor is that he's a very sports fanatic person, right? He also is the owner of Mohan Bagan
Mohan.
Super Giants.
Yes.
So that Super Giants is something he carries. His initials are SG, so he adds it, appends it to anywhere, right? So right, he's a very enthusiastic sports fanatic, maybe just like us. And because he has the purse and because he has the access, the things that we do in this podcast, he does it directly with the players. So that is the difference. So yeah.
Correct, correct. I mean, he's a very involved personality, and we are seeing different personalities in this IPL as well, different talents in this IPL as well. So, uh, Now that we are almost closing our podcast, I mean, we'll not do too much because it's already 45 minutes, so we'll not drag it too long. But just one final point I just want to ask about Digvesh Rathi. I mean, we are seeing some very good spinners, some mystery spinners that we are seeing, right? So I just wanted to highlight this particular point, Digvesh Rathi. Sorry, is it Digvesh Rathi or is it Digvesh Singh? Is it
Rathi, Rathi.
Digvesh Rathi, right? So Rickjoy, your thoughts? How
He's not a
good does he
mystery
look?
spinner. He's a traditional leg spinner. His
Hmm,
his bowling action is very similar to Mustaq Ahmed and Abdul Qadir. He's a very traditional leg spinner. He's not a mystery spinner. But he has way too attitude. Being a like a first timer in IPL, he has way too much attitude, which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. I do not know. Like if I believe you slowly start to develop your attitude as you grow into the game. People first see your performance and then see your personality. If they start to see your personality before you start to perform, just we have seen for Yan Parag, it doesn't bode well. People do not relate to you, and we know that you need a good story along with your performance, like Jaiswal, to get the fans behind you. So he's showing a little bit of attitude, but similarly we have seen something same with Harshit, but Harshit was able to win the IPL for KKR, and he had done, I would say, lukewarmly well in Australia, not that much good, but he wherever he got the opportunity, he showed that confidence, and so that's why we can understand his attitude has a meaning to it. But if this new guy who if not able to follow through his performance, then those attitude doesn't make any sense.
absolutely.
And
Small.
that's not a very unique celebration. This has been done in the cricket
Yeah,
history before.
correct. I remember. I think it was in
And
the
just
West
to
Indies
add on
Premier
there,
League.
attitude is kind of a double-edged sword, right? It can tear up the opposition, and also it can injure you. So, like for people for whom attitude works, like Virat Kohli, Pandya to a certain extent, it looks very good. And for the ones which for whom it does not work, it looks ugly. But just I want to point out, I was just listening to the post-match presentation yesterday when he got the man of the match. It was when he talked through his performance, or he talked through the innings. There was Rishabh Pant standing in the middle, translating what was told, asked to him in English. He was translating to Hindi, and then he was responding in Hindi. And Rishabh Pant was kind of working as a translator. So
No, we lost Somadeep in the middle. I didn't watch the post match game.
I think he was translating. So Rishabh Pant was translating for Digvesh.
am I still connected?
Yes, now
Yes,
you're back.
yes, yes. You're connected.
Now you're back. What happened? I couldn't. I'm eagerly listening to the story. What happened?
Am I still connected?
Yes, yes. Go
Yes,
ahead.
you're connected.
I'm muted.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
muted.
but somehow cannot see myself. Yeah. So
That's
what I was
fine.
saying
That's
is, yeah,
fine.
his attitude is very pleasant. It looks very pleasant, at least. He
Okay.
said that he takes inspiration from Sunil Narayan, and he is trying to
Yes.
grow and learn.
Okay. I
Okay.
think we can
I I
end
just
this.
I just hope he
It was
I just
supposed to be a
hope
short
he
stream,
yeah,
and became.
I just hope he blooms further in the IPL, and maybe someday. Uh, though attitude, I agree. I mean that would always be there, and it's again some players get pumped up, like we see Virat Kohli. He had that attitude from the very beginning, Virat Kohli, and he is one of the greatest of the games. So maybe it works for certain players and it doesn't work for certain players. But I just hope he keeps the performance along with the attitude, and maybe someday we see him in the India colors. We are seeing some promising talents again as well. I mean that's one of the positives of an IPL. So on that note, let's close this discussion. I think we did a review of the Kings versus the Royals, the preview of the Kings versus the Royals, and the review of the last match. We'll be back in some time with another mouth-watering contest that we have at the Chepauk, that is between the Chennai Super Kings and the Delhi Capitals. Till then, see you. Stay tuned and
We
please
will be
like,
back.
subscribe.
We can give them the tentative timing. We'll be back in next 30 minutes.
Yes, we'll be back in the next 30 minutes for the review of Chennai Super Kings versus the Delhi Capitals. Till then, stay tuned. And if you like our podcast. Go and subscribe that, like our channel, and follow us. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone.